Dear Wyoming FFA, when I was in high school, I once read this saying in a book that said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, back then, I didn't think about it much. I paused, thought, wow, that was really wise. And then I promptly forgot about it until one day, the summer before my senior year. Something you should know about this particular day and the days leading up to it is that I was in the Dominican Republic, playing on a national softball team. We'd spent the first half of the trip in one of the bigger cities. Then we traveled to a coastal town called Sosua. Now, throughout the trip, we'd been doing lots of fun tourist things, like going to the beach, visiting museums, cascading down waterfalls. But there was one day outlined on the itinerary that said, Sosua Dump Project. Now, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I remember thinking in my head, really? We're in a foreign country and they want us to go to a landfill? But let me tell you this. That one day ended up changing my entire perspective on life. Before we were taken to the landfill, we were given a lesson on what to expect. We were told that we were going to be collecting glass and other valued trash with displaced Haitians that were sent to the Dominican Republic after Hurricane Katrina. These people had nowhere to go, with no country claiming them, so they had resorted to living within the landfill itself. Yes, you heard me correctly. These people lived and survived within the landfill. When we drove in, we realized that it was much, much worse than we had originally anticipated. Smoky fog came off still smoldering trash. The smell of years of rotting garbage, enough to make me gag. We were each paired up with one of the Haitians who lived there, and we didn't leave until each of us had filled at least one large trash bag. When we finally completed our task, we staggered back to the bus, but before we got on, the Haitians we've been working with stopped us, pointed at our feet, and made a clasping motion with their hands. Our translator told us they were asking for our shoes because many of them had family members who didn't have any. Without hesitating, I took off my Asics running shoes and handed them to my Haitian partner, my teammates and coach doing the same. Looking back, I wish we could have stayed longer, continuing to help all of those families who needed so much more than what we had given. But I realized something had never occurred to me before. I had been living my life with blinders on. I was so focused on my own minute existence that I had forgotten the world was a much bigger place than simply what I was familiar with. Many of us are guilty of this. I know I am. It is not that we do not know that hunger, lack of clean drinking water, and many other hardships exist. It is simply that if we do not focus on those parts of the world, they will not directly apply to us. I realized that while perhaps I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted to working in that landfill, opening my eyes to my surroundings could be just as valuable to the people I met that day in the Dominican Republic. Changing the way I perceived things in my life would be just as useful. One thing that I've done in response to this experience is bought sandals from a company called Brave Souls that hires people from the very landfill that I worked in to repurpose leather from old aircraft seats and rubber from old tires to make sandals, bags, and many other personal items. Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and buy something, but what I am saying is that by simply training yourself to be aware is enough. Being polite, doing everyday tasks from saying thank you to smiling at people in the hallways can make a massive difference in the lives of those around you, and you may never even know. Open your eyes to the world around you, and you may be surprised at the dreams you will find, even in your jacket. Sincerely, Kaci Schmick.
When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. Proverbs 31:26. Kaci is such a great representation of this Bible verse. She is so wise and so kind. In my mind, Kaci is the glue of our state officer team. Where do I even start? There's nothing that I can say that will be able to describe how much you mean to me and how grateful I am that I get to call you one of my best friends. Thank you for the countless late night chats, snacks, laughs, and prayers. Honestly, I have no idea how we made it through chapter visits alive with our amazing driving skills. I'd have to say, though, we make a pretty great team. Thank you for keeping me sane this year and passing all of my classes. Overall, thank you for being one of the most amazing people I know. Love you so much, Kaci.